Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of 30 Minutes, the interactive program of Trust Television. My name is Manir Dan Ali, and my guest today is a member of the House of Representatives who chairs the Committee on Ports and Harbour, that is Alhaji Garba Datti Babawo. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Haji Manir.
Good to have you on this program. You are chairing the Post and Harbour, but I believe you have made more name on something that people may consider strange. That is your championship of donkey-related matters.
Yeah, sure.
What business have you got with donkeys?
Well, my own interest started just out of compassion, because I saw the way they are being transported in a very inhuman condition. I was not happy. They were treated just like animals, as they don't have any right to live. But I tried to find out why are they even transporting this animal from the northern part to the southern part of the country. So it was out of our research, we now found out that what they are interested in is the skin of the donkey.
That is the business people who are busy buying up the donkeys.
Yes, the people, the so-called Donkey Dealers Association. So what they are doing is to go and get the donkeys, kill it, remove the skin, then they take it to China. In China, they export it to China. China uses it as an ingredient in making a traditional Chinese medicine, which they call Ijio, which has disappeared almost 2,000 years ago. It has just been reintroduced just about 2 decades.
Probably because of the new prosperity in China.
Yes, in China. So it has become a very popular traditional Chinese medicine. And one of the major ingredients there is gelatin, which is normally gotten from the donkey skin. So China started this about 2 decades ago. So, but they have decimated the population of donkeys in China, and the market is growing. So what they need to do is to come to other third world countries, to come to other parts of the world, particularly in Central Asia, Southeast Asia, including India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and Central Asian republics. Then they came to Africa, especially West Africa, Horn of Africa, East Africa, and even the Maghreb, and in South America. So they were in pursuit of this animal. And the animal is a special type of animal.
You mean the donkey is special?
The donkey.
What makes it special?
Yes, when I brought this bill, I don't even know that it will attract global attention. So it's a bill that has global appeal. So I was invited.
I mean, let's take it one by one.
Yeah.
You introduced a bill in the House of Representatives.
Yes, to stop the killing of this donkey.
Right.
So there was a United Nations development program. They held a conference in conjunction with African Network for Animal Welfare in Addis Ababa in 2018. So I was invited to make a presentation, which I made a presentation. I made other presentations in Ghana, in Kenya, and now, by the end of this month, we have another conference in Botswana, which I was invited. So it's in that conference I came to know a lot of things, because what was presented there even has broadened my knowledge. This animal, one, is a production animal according to United Nations. It's a working animal, it's not a production animal. Secondly, it's an animal that you cannot multiply, breed it in large number.
Why?
They have just tried it, it has failed all over. This is the latest This is the latest research that was released just last month.
Right.
Challenges and implication of donkey farming.
Donkey farming, right.
This is by University of Reading in United Kingdom. All the research that was done, it has almost been impossible to multiply this animal in large number. And now, this animal, in the whole world, we have less than 40 million.
Of donkeys? Of
donkeys.
But do you know that there are some that are even in the wild?
No. The donkeys we are talking of are this domestic that have been domesticated. So, and the Chinese market every year needs minimum of 4.8 million donkeys. So, with the trend, with the current trend, there is likelihood in the next decade we may not have donkey again in the world. But the most important aspect, which I learned through that conferences, is that even the United Nations recognized this animal as the best and the cheapest and the most enduring means of transport to all marginalized people. You are talking of almost 800 million people worldwide. They use it for different economic activity in different parts of the world, for farming, for fetching water, for transportation, for taking building materials and any other thing. And it's an animal that has a lot of endurance, and you can use it for at least 30 to 35 years actively. It will serve you. That's why when we went to Ethiopia, they have a proverb there. They say any woman that doesn't have a donkey, she becomes donkey herself. Because it's that donkey she uses in all her economic activity.
But even here in Nigeria, I noticed that even in the city of Kano, there are some very narrow streets where only donkeys are used to carry.
Yes, they are used in taking building materials, sand, and many other things, water to the building sites, to farms. It's an utility animal. So it's used worldwide differently for many other things. We have seen, especially in the Horn of Africa and East Africa, is such an important animal, even here in West Africa. So I am even happy. I was told that this particular bill has a global implication, because in some other countries they ban it, but there is no any legal framework to punish people who... So I was the first to introduce such a thing. That's why it has become so important.
And where exactly is that bill now? Has it passed? At what stage is it?
Yeah, the
and
bill...
Is there concurrence?
Yes, exactly. What happened, this bill was passed unanimously, and surprisingly for the first time we have NGOs, charity organizations from all over the world coming to Nigeria for the first time for public hearing on this very bill.
On the bill on donkeys?
This bill. That's charity organizations like the Donkey Sanctuary from United Kingdom, Brooks Action for Working Donkeys, African Network for Animal Welfare, World Federation of Animal, and many others. They indicated interest. Some of them came, some sent their memo to us in support of this bill.
But wouldn't some accuse you of like promoting some foreign agenda then?
No, it's not a foreign agenda, because we don't even know about them. We introduced it to save this animal from extinction. And as I told you, when we went to Ethiopia, it's a United Nations conference. It was there we learned a lot of things about this animal. A lot of, it was there we even know that this animal, you cannot multiply it in large quantity, that is facing extinction. And we have to save it. And it was even then we were told that that very day that bill was introduced, the following day in China, is the leading donkey merchant in the world, in China, which in 2017 they posted a net profit of $269 million.
That is this Chinese company,
yes,
that is
promotes. So immediately
donkeys.
That bill was passed, the price, the share capital of donkey went down drastically. So, well, we know, when we started, we don't know that it would take another dimension. It was unanimously passed in
your House of Representatives,
in the House of Representatives. Even all the other agencies, government agencies that came, were in full support of this bill, apart from somebody from NAPRI that came.
NAPRI, that is the National Agricultural Production Research Institute
in
Zaria.
Yeah, somebody said they were doing research on equine animals, donkey, horses and mules, and camels. So we now asked them, what's your achievement? They said they have been doing this for about 7 years, but there is no funding. I said, in other climes, when you have such things, then you go to people that are promoting it, they will fund you. But all research from all other institutes have shown clearly that it's almost impossible to multiply this animal in large number.
So to come back to your bill, because it can't become a law until the other house of the Nigerian Parliament, the Senate concurs, and then it gets signed on by the
when it was unanimously passed in the House, it was transmitted on 12 December 2019 to the Senate for concurrence. But surprisingly, it has been lying in the Senate since then. Myself, Honorable Sani Zoro, led Professor Shehu Bello, the former chairman of PRP, who has once made a research on this donkey in West Africa, Dr. Mahmoud Othman, who was a commissioner for rural development in the Rimi administration in Kano State. So they became so interested, they became very, very active. We went with them to see the Senate President. We went to see the Senate leader then, Dr. Yahaya. But to our greatest dismay, against all norms of parliamentary procedures, we were so surprised that another version of the same bill was now presented in the Senate. And the intent is to water down our serious, strong response on this.
But why will that be? Because I will say you have done your own bit in your house where you are,
parliamentary
so the Senate can do it differently.
Yeah, they can't do it. The procedure and what we agreed is any bill that was passed in one of the houses, you cannot bring it in another house. If you have some amendment or you disagree, then you bring, then we'll go to conference. This is the letter I've written to Speaker in breach of this issue. I've written to Speaker on the 4th of August that is against our norms, against our procedures, that somebody will bring the same bill in another form in order to water down the bill. So we are so surprised the type of lobbying the so-called donkey dealers are doing. To our greatest surprise again, when we went for the public hearing in the Senate, although they published it on Friday, and they said the public hearing is on Monday. They did not tell anybody. We only saw it, and I called the Minister of Agri whether it's aware. He said he's not aware. I have to draw his attention. So we were there. He made presentation. I made presentation. The so-called donkey dealers made their own presentation. But to our surprise, no paper carried anything about us. Even the Daily Trust, their reporter, reported what the representative of the so-called donkey dealers.
But why do you call them so-called? Do they not exist in reality?
No, they don't exist because
there are people who are dealing with the donkeys.
Yes. Because the other time they came for the public hearing, when they came, they said, this is, if we ban them, this is what Nigeria will lose.
That is, if you ban the trade in donkey skin,
yes,
which is leading to like more donkeys being killed.
We said, okay, if you say this is what Nigeria will lose, okay, let's calculate and see. If each donkey will be sold at that time, I think we said about $150 or so. So how many donkeys will you kill to have this? So what we calculate, even the donkeys of the whole world, when you bring them together and slaughter them, they cannot give that amount of money. So they seems to be. So they have made
very exaggerated claims.
Yes,
that's what
yes, they are not sincere. Even now, the Senate, the public hearing that was held in the Senate, the so-called president said 3 million people will lose their jobs. The donkeys we have in Nigeria are even less than 700,000 now. So, but where are the 3 million people? The Federal Civil Service in the whole Nigeria is less than 1 million. So where are the 3 million people that will lose their jobs? So and even scientists told us in one of the conferences which they initiated, they told us that this animal contains a lot of zoonotic diseases. It's associated with the meat. And here officials of this FCT recently said that some people are smuggling donkey meat into market for people to consume, which is another aspect of this.
I see you are passionate about the donkeys, but we must go on break now and resume the discussion shortly. Welcome back. It is 30 minutes, the interactive program of Trust Television. My guest today is Honorable Garba Datti Babawo. You've been trying to kind of belittle the other side. I mean, you are championing the cause of donkeys, and then you are kind of trying to undermine those who say they are making a living out of the business, and you are saying that their numbers do not add up.
No,
but isn't it a fact? We see even in especially our border markets, Adua, maybe Dambata, and a couple of other markets in the Nigerian border regions where on a weekly basis, trailer loads of donkeys are being ferried to eastern Nigeria where they get slaughtered. Isn't that some line of business that's tend to be lost?
As I told you, is an illegal trade because the skin has been confiscated not once, not twice by customs. So it's an illegal trade.
I saw even recently in Kebbi, there was the seizure of, is it a container load of donkey skins?
And what we are saying, if you even take it from economic perspective, is an unequal type of trade between the exploitative, the privileged class who are in the trade and the rural people who are using it for their own economic activity. It's an unequal trade. You find that they are being exploited, and the consequences at the end of the day is they are the ones to bear the consequences. Those other people will not bear any consequence.
But in some of the stories that I have seen in Daily Trust and even on Trust Television, at those markets where these donkeys are being sold, the people in the business are saying, look, this is our business. Why should somebody want to stop it? Because when the Chinese are buying these donkeys, the prices are higher. And when it is just the local market, the prices are depressed.
Nobody is against trade. But we are looking at the implication, which has manifested itself. This animal, there is an army decree in this country, which Nigeria is a signatory, that prevents the killing of animals that are facing extinction. this animal clearly is one. It's facing extinction, as I told you, all researches that has been made. It's impossible. If not, China will not have come to Nigeria to look for, or go to Niger. They will have multiplied it. That's the danger we are talking about. This is high-level ministerial meeting of the Ecowas Specialized Technical Committee on Food and Agriculture, which took place on 28 September 2021 in Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan.
And the issue of donkey come up?
Yeah, as part of their resolution, number 9 resolution, clearly is there. They said the ministers indicated their support for the initiative to ban animal abuse in general and donkey slaughter in particular, and confirmed the alignment of national strategies with the regional global strategy for the eradication of pests and so on. So,
but then what do you tell those people who consider donkey meat a delicacy? I mean, even locally, you are not exporting anything within Nigeria. Yeah. People who
you see,
partake in its meat.
You see, there is even a constitutional issue. People thought that venturing into issue of donkey is something that falls within the preview of local government. But we are saying no. Issue of
because there is an interstate issue.
No, it's not interstate. This has to do with international trade, because the skin is being exported, and this is exclusive. Section is in section 62 1A of the exclusive legislative list. Clearly indicates that the issue of international trade falls within the National Assembly. So that's why we are interested, because of the skin that is taken there.
But Honorable, can I take you back, because we haven't, I mean, there isn't clarity. At the moment, where are we in this lawmaking? Is this stymied or stuck in the Senate? And then what is the way forward?
Yeah, the way forward, we have used multiple ways, because we are with the Ministry of Agri, they are with us, they are in support of us. Although occasionally there was a time when Mr. Dr. Vincent Isigbe, who is the director of quarantine, issued a statement to legalize this trade. Immediately I called the attention of the minister. They have to call him to retract that statement and say that it's not true. And it was at that point 2 Chinese nationals were arrested with this, because it's an illegal trade. And this is a petition to Senate President. Attention, Senate Committee on Agri. A criminal breach of trust and cheating, economic sabotage, abuse of office, dishonestly receiving property stolen in a commission of brigandage, possessing things reasonably suspected of having been stolen against the Director General, Nigerian Agricultural Quarantine Service.
But Honorable, I don't think we should go into those matters.
Yeah.
Let's keep on the donkey matter.
No, it's also, I'm coming. Why I read this to you? Why I read this to you?
Yes.
These people are accusing the director of quarantine.
Yeah, but he's not here to defend himself, so that is why it is better not to go into that line of argument. Yes, I want us to, that practically now, you are at the tail end of your tenure, that is this current National Assembly. And I'm not sure this issue of donkey is like a big national issue to warrant the National Assembly being able to do something from now to the end of your tenure. So how do you think we can proceed on this matter?
It depends on how you see it. It's still a national issue, because it has to do with the rural economy of some part of this country, which people depend on this animal for a lot of economic activity. So that's why we are worried. It's a national issue. If you could recall, I think during that day when we are doing, there is one Professor Gambo from, is the advisor to Governors Forum on Agriculture. He told me that the show of Borno called all his district heads to give them order to prevent people from selling donkeys.
But is that feasible? Can you?
Yeah,
prevent
I'm just
from
telling you,
carrying out legitimate businesses.
No, you can't call it legitimate business in that.
Buying and selling. So what about the local Borno people or whichever place it is that want to buy for their own use?
Yes, that's the one they are talking. That one is different from the one they are taking it for export to kill and remove the skin. You understand? So you will find out that I think in one of your daily trusts, I saw it when Governor Zulum visited one of the local government. You see all the women there with their donkeys carrying their loads. So if they don't have those donkeys, who will do that job for them?
And are you, when you are doing all this, are you like trying to reach out to the Chinese side of the business, maybe to see what you could do about it?
Let me cite an example to you. I was in Kenya with Minister of Agric in March this year. We were there for another function. The Minister of State of Agric met us.
That's of Kenya.
Yeah, with Professor Jaspat Ngonyo, who is the director of African Network for Animal Welfare. They thanked me. They said, I've saved the donkeys of Kenya, because Kenya, what they did initially was to go and sign an agreement with Chinese to do it officially. So it was later they now found out that they are being foolish, because the donkeys they are losing, what they are getting from the Chinese is the value is not up to what their rural people are using. So the side is now that they realize their problem. So immediately they ban it all over the country now, all over Africa. Every country is now banning officially, banning the killing. I've shown you this is already for West Africa. Nigeria has a signatory.
Yes, but you did also say that Nigeria, you are the first to try to do the law, and you have not even succeeded so far.
This is at ministerial level.
Yes.
From parliamentary, this thing from lawmaking. This is from executive arm. They can ban it, but what is the penalty for violating this? It's only the parliament who can do it. That's the aspect where I come in. But officially, it has been banned by West African ministers, which Nigeria is a signatory. It's a treaty that was signed on 28 September 2021 in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire.
So just in a few seconds, are you engaging the business lobby, those people who are engaged in the donkey business?
No,
because probably
the turn has become
have a different view on this.
It has become a cartel. It has become a cartel. A lot of people are involved. There is a former senator and a former minister of state who is deeply involved in such things. And as you can see, some of the dealers are saying that if they are this thing were seized, then another person will go through the back door and sell it to another market. But let me tell you, we are using another. I've met the Minister of Agric. I've met the Minister of Attorney General, Minister of Justice. And they have seen merit in this. They are working on it to take it to Mr. President for an executive order. That executive order, I think, will solve this problem.
Thank you very much, yes. Honorable Garba Datti Babawo.
Yes.
You are quite passionate about donkeys, and I wish other people could be passionate about issues that are dear to them. Yeah. Viewers, we've come to the end of this edition of 30 Minutes. Keep a date with us.